Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Cat Sports Weekly Lion video. We didn't really get one out last week. It's not much goes on with the Lions, but we do have a couple things that have come out this week throughout some shows coming out and other things happening. I'll start with the kind of bigger news, but not really too big of news because of how well he played throughout the year. Amon-Ra St. Brown played the most of 2023 with his oblique completely torn off.
Wow. Wow.
That
That is a man's man. There ain't no way I could do that.
he met his season goal that he set for himself with 10 touchdowns over 1,500 yards with basically having his oblique pretty badly torn, which is surprising that he played through that kind of pain. I know I think it happened like week 3 or week 4 in the short week, and then he went and played in Green Bay.
This is the life of professional football,
so,
man. You got to play with some injuries. I saw something about Ragnow being ranked lower now as not one of the top better centers, or he's still at the top, kind of, but
I mean, it's injuries.
Not as high as he was.
If the Lions somehow win this year, like I said last year, if they would have won, I wouldn't have been surprised if Ragnow and Decker and all the people who've been there a while just retired. And if they somehow win this year, I would say the same thing. You were with the team for so long, you went through the misery, and you would want to finish on top.
They have very painful conditions too.
Decker not so much, but Ragnow with his toes, like I said, I would not be surprised if that happens. But I mean,
want to play 1 year as Super Bowl champion, I would think. But even if he won this year, we'll see.
But it is a surprising thing to come out that the fact that that St. Brown played so well throughout the whole year on an injury kind of like that. I mean, you had CJ sit out with a torn bicep, but he played with a torn oblique for the most of the year.
Some men are tougher than others, I suppose.
But,
and he is one damn tough.
So hopefully we don't have to deal with any kind of injury like that next year because our wide receivers aren't questionable. But
how much better he'll be if he's healthy?
Yeah, he will be better. Other thing to kind of come out this week, like I said, not too much going on. But it seems that Jack Campbell has been doing very, very well in his offseason and going into his second year. And he is expected to have increased workload throughout the season and even being in a hybrid role with Derek Barnes in the linebacker.
I expect him to be a more integral part of the defense this year. If he's not, he should be punished severely.
I mean, I will not complain. If he's playing better, like I said, if these guys are becoming better, that's what we want. We want to see a better team, an increase workload for our young guys. A younger team is going to be faster, harder to play against.
Right.
I mean, like I said, McNeil, if he plays well this year, with him and Reeder in the middle there, and then you find someone, if Houston can gain his form that he played in that first year through those 8 games.
The training wheels are off, man.
We will have
for you to ride that bike.
If Houston can play the way he played before he got hurt last year, you won't have to worry about finding somebody else on the other side of the line with Hutchinson because Houston was doing great last year on the other side of the line.
Bro.
So if he plays well like he did a couple of years ago, going into his third year, I will not be upset. You have a chance to be better very easily with who you have on the team.
You do. Like I said, I think this is what's it last year. It's kind of like this is the NFL. Get used to it. We're going to expect you to be part of this team in the future, and it's time to take the diapers off and put some big boy pants on them. And if you shit yourself, then it's your problem. You're sitting in it.
But for the most part, I mean, you got all your young guys are playing well, right? Between your young cornerbacks that you just drafted playing well. The line seems that it could be better. Your linebackers seem like they could be better. You already have a good offense in general. It's just that defense that's your question mark. And if it seems like it's getting better, you have nothing to complain about. Even like Kirby Joseph, he had hip rehab during this offseason. So hopefully he's better next year.
Don't you feel that they have pretty much improved at every spot? Or stayed the same.
Which would be kicker would be your only question mark. Have they really improved at kicker? How much?
I think they will be because by the time the season rolls around, I think no matter who they pick, at least they'll be pretty much the same.
It's either you go Badgley or Jack Bates.
I
Like,
think it'll be Bates. But I mean, I'm trying to think of a position that they're at that I can't say that they've at least stayed at the same level, if not gotten better. And in the positions that they needed to get better, I think they have. Their linebacking core is better. Their defensive backs are better. Their defensive line is better on paper.
yeah,
Uh, so I'm expecting big things.
they have a higher. That's why I said that if everything goes right next year, they could win 15. That's if everything goes right. I still expect them to be about a 12-win team
I,
because 12, maybe 13 is probably where you're going to sit at. But if you play well, everything goes right. Nobody gets major injuries. The line plays the way it's supposed to on both sides. You have a chance to play very well and get yourself in that situation. But on the other hand, if everything falls apart, where are we going to sit?
well, right. Well, to me, like I said, I felt this last year. Still the same thing. 11 wins is your minimum. 11.
And you
Um,
really shouldn't go below
and
11.
you shouldn't go below 11.
You should
Um,
win basically every home game that you have.
it might take a game, maybe 12. It depends on how fast uh, the Bears and the Packers are a threat to you. The Packers look like they could be a real threat.
Bears, it depends on Caleb Williams,
Yeah, Bears all depend on that. I've seen some, some
who
signs that
still
this
have
guy's
not
going to
signed
take
his
some,
contract.
and he's going to take
Same
time.
thing with JJ.
It's going to take time to grow. The NFL is not for kids. It's a man's league, and if he thinks he's just going to walk in and dominate, I will be very shocked at that. I do not think he's that good. He didn't dominate all that much in college. I mean, I guess maybe personal
No.
stats, but he didn't
What it's
take USC to.
truly what's going to come down to in Chicago, if they are going to be a better team, is going to be the line. Is the line going to be good enough to buy Caleb Williams time, and will Caleb Williams be good enough to adjust if that line is that bad?
And he seems like the type of player that's going to blame others if he doesn't do well. I don't like to say that, but I'm going to predict it. And that will not sit well with his team. He just seems to be a braggart. And so far, you haven't even taken a snap.
Nope.
So do something first. It's like I even said about the Lions up to the point of last year where they finally won the division. Do something. You want people to start respecting you? Do something.
Yeah,
Um,
play well. I mean,
that's all it takes.
you got to look at the best
Stop whining
indication.
and crying about it.
The best indication for that's like Jared Goff. I mean, everyone wrote him off until basically last year, and people are still writing him off. But he is getting some respect for how he's played. You know, he brought another team who absolutely sucked to an NFC Championship game, and now he's getting some respect. But there's a lot of people who are still writing off the Lions of
And
even
in the
being a
end,
good team. So, like I said, it's a wait and see when it comes to the Lions and how good they're actually going to play.
it's like Al Davis said: just win, baby. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters.
Uh,
Just win.
And then a tiny little bit of news to end the video out that did happen today. Calvin Johnson is going to be elected into the Lions Hall of Fame, or the Pride of Lions, as they call
That ungrateful,
it.
overhyped wide receiver we used to have.
But he is being elected into the Lions Hall of Fame. Will they retire his number? We will wait and see if they retire his number along with it.
Yeah, they may. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't.
They only got like 4 numbers retired from the Lions. That's
Yeah,
about
I
it.
wouldn't. Yeah.
I don't think the Lions have as
I don't
much.
think he's that good. What was his nickname again? I forget.
Megatron.
Megatron. Mega. He was good. I remembered it. He wasn't. He was kind of like our Barry Sanders at wide receiver.
Yes.
Actually, in a way, didn't really win anything with him, but you couldn't fault him for trying. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, will they retire his number? I don't know. I think almost every single team, like with the Red Wings, everyone has a couple players they think that they deserve their numbers retired. I think the Lions, they haven't really had anybody in that necessary conversation. I think Calvin Johnson's the only one who kind of is in that conversation with the Lions of players who don't have their numbers retired who might
we should
deserve it.
retire Jared Goff's number while he's playing. while he's playing. Just put it up in the
But
rafters.
didn't we record? I think the Lions retired a kicker's number. I think they retired Hanson's number. If I remember
Yeah, you
correctly.
know what? They've had a
But
number of kickers that probably deserve.
this is the only
Eddie
only player who
Murray,
ever did
Jason
well on the
Hansen,
Lions.
uh,
But
Errol Mann. I don't know.
the Lions, right, they don't have too many people to look back on. And, they made amends with their top wide receiver in history. So
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's
like I
good that
said,
they've made
you can't.
amends.
The production's there. I mean, uh,
I
Kelvin
mean,
Johnson, like I said, he was our Barry Sanders at the wide
it
receiver
it
position.
only took them to last year to build a statue for Barry Sanders to have any kind of like history
Well,
shown
both these
outside.
players left not under the best of circumstances, and that's probably a lot of the reason. Plus, the Ford family up till Sheila, not to, I don't want to insult her parents, but they weren't the brightest bulbs in the. They
Well,
just it
the
was it
it,
was probably the worst run organization certainly in football up
they
until Sheila Ford took over
there
for
isn't
camp.
when you go look at the Lions, there is not much history stuff. When you even go to Ford Field, there isn't much looking back at the history of the team. At least if you go to Red Wing games, Piston games, Tiger games, you see the history of the team.
And
You see stuff. You can reminisce on old times.
right,
The Lions don't have nothing.
she's changing that. And like as we've talked about a number of times. In fact, they said it the other day. I was hearing it on a national sports show how they really believe the fact that Sheila Hamp Ford is one of the major factors in the turnaround, and that 50% of the owners don't even give a crap if they win. 50% of the
It's all
major
about the
pro
money.
sports owners don't care. It's about money. So if you find one that does care, that's all you really can ask. There is no guarantee for Super Bowls. There's no guarantee for championships, but you can guarantee that you're going to give it everything you got.
And I mean, and that's the one thing we could look at the Detroit sports owners. You got it's a weird thing to say, but it seems like the Fords are the ones that care the most.
The
And then
Con
Illich,
Gorse is puke,
and then we
and
don't even know about the Illiches. We don't
and
know.
yeah, the Illiches are still right in the middle.
We don't
And
know. We don't know how his son is doing. Is he just trying to build his own legacy, or does he literally not care? Like, because it's been iffy. He has started
and
to
you see
build his teams,
right. You see
but
proof
we
of
don't
both.
know.
Well, because you do, whether people like it or not, it has been a long time. Maybe it has taken longer. I'm sure Steve Eisman was hoping it wouldn't take this long, but you can't deny that every year they have improved. They've
On
gotten
both
better
teams.
considerably, and they're looking better this year. And we're not done yet. So that's why Sheila deserves a lot of credit. She shows you what we knew all along for the last 60 years, 60 some years, that her parents were probably the biggest reason we were not successful. They didn't hire good people, and the product on the field showed it. We had a few, like you said, blips. I don't think they totally, like I said, I don't think William Clay Ford just
Yeah,
that he didn't. There's a part of him that kind of, when they did have some success, he was happy about it. But I don't think he cared that enough. Not cared enough to want to keep a winner here and to build a winner. To him, it was enough just to, yeah, you got some players. The Wayne Fonts era was probably what before this the best era
yeah.
we had. I
And
lived
in
through
modern
that,
history,
and yeah, they were nice guys. Wayne Fonts is a great guy. Barry Sanders, great guy, fun to watch. But it was never, they came close. They were 12-4 in 1991. And
yeah.
they came close. And then they just said, well, guess what? That's good enough. And they didn't care. And I think the next year we were like 6-10 or something like that. It was embarrassing. And we should have gotten there. We should have moved forward.
To
It was
co-
supposed to
to
be us and Dallas in the 90s that dominated. And Dallas went on to,
do their
they had
thing.
their core and they had their great offensive line and they had their great defense. And we just decided to say, who cares?
The only other thing is their early 2010s when Matthew Stafford first started playing.
Yeah, Matthew
Jim
Stafford.
Caldwell getting consistent
Right.
winning seasons, and you said that wasn't good enough. You hire Matt Patricia,
Right. No, I
and
agree.
you go right into
Caldwell
the
got
toilet.
screwed. Caldwell got screwed. I think Stafford got screwed for the most part. We came like similar to what happened in '91. They came close. They had a really good team. I think we had the number 5 defense in the league.
You got screwed over in the playoff game against
Got
Dallas,
screwed over against
and
Dallas.
then that ended it.
Right. And then after that, we just didn't seem to have any gumption to return or to even build on that. We like that's been the
But
Lions.
but you look at now. You look at
Right.
now. We feel
Up until last season, really, the '91 team was the only other team you could say up until last season they were a very good football team.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, we'll see how they play this year, and we'll
Right.
see how that all turns out. But with all that being said, we went on a little bit of a tangent at the end here.
Right.
But with all that being said, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about everything we talked about in this video. And until next time, see everybody soon.